Okay, so this is how I finally managed to make the process of getting lean or weight loss automatic. My name is Elias. My goal is to streamline things like weight loss for you and teach you all the shit that PTs and information that is gate kept online or behind paywalls, so that way you can build the ideal version of yourself without having to spend extra money where you really shouldn't have. If you love fitness, you'll love my videos. If you don't, I'm here to dumb it down so you don't have to worry about it anymore and that you can finally move on and enjoy other things in your life. Now, in the modern age, we have a terrible pandemic of people selling weight loss to the naive and impressionable. This then leads to a whole plethora of confusion. It's no different to me going to a mechanic and then he starts quoting me a bunch of things that don't need fixing or things that I'm clueless about just because he wants to make a quick buck out of me. And bro, trust me, I know how confusing and conflicting some of the information you see online is. In order to get that problem solved, we must first go over First thing is protein. You need to be eating at least 1 gram for every single pound of body weight you have, or double your weight in kilograms, and that's how many grams of protein you're going to want to be aiming to hit. Resistance training. You need to be training 3 to 5 times a week with the main focus on form, intensity, and progression. Yes, in that order. The most important thing, you need to be eating less calories, aka a calorie deficit, than you originally were, whilst hitting your protein goal. Outside of that, everything else is pretty much mental. Now, when I was originally dieting, I invented this thing called the adherence formula. It's not perfect, but basically it goes enjoyment plus sustainability equals adherence. In summary, the more you enjoy something and the easier it is to do, the more likely you're going to do the thing. From a dieting perspective, this is what it looks like. I eat the exact same 4 meals every single day, and I follow a few key ground rules. A, hit my protein. 2, hit my micronutrient. 3, fuel my training. Usually I'll see if I can do that in as few calories as possible. So finally I can pull out 1,000 calories at the end of the day and spend that however I like. Maybe I want to go out and get food with friends. Provided I've hit my macro and micronutrient needs, I can do that. So the thing is, guys, you can eat your favorite foods on your diet, but the important thing here is that you prioritize the foods that are actually important first and then fit the rest in based on your goal. Once I know roughly how much I'm going to eat or what a good day of eating looks like, I write it down and then I just follow that for the next 6 weeks. Track it some way. You can use MyFitnessPal, Chronometer. Make sure you have a record and stay consistent. Now, I'll usually leave Sundays for like a social day where I can enjoy food with my family, and I'll usually just track that intuitively. It's very hard to stuff yourself on one day and throw away all progress, and you shouldn't be stuffing yourself at any means. Very similar to a type of diet called If It Fits Your Macros that bodybuilders have been doing for ages, except I also try to hit micronutrient goals so that way I can have good hair quality, good skin quality, and I'm not dealing with brain fog or mood swings. I've always tried to look at food as something that's going to fuel my goals, not just in terms of fitness, but in terms of my life as a whole. And then how can I also make it enjoyable? But by extension, if it fits my goals, I'm likely enjoying what I'm doing. Resistance training. I train no more than 5 times a week for an hour per session, and I focus on how good is my form, are my sessions intense, and am I progressing or maintaining my lift. Everything else is basically extra. I also like to have 30 to 40 minutes of cardio in there just for my general health. You don't need that, but I would advise you try aim for a step goal, because walking is like piss easy and super fun, and it's going to make your calorie deficit a lot easier. Another amazing thing about walking, you can multitask very easily while walking. This whole video script is almost written up entirely while I was walking. You guys should not be dieting for more than 6 to 8 weeks. The more fat you have, the bigger your deficit can be, but every week you ramp up and lengthen that diet, the more that diet fatigue builds up, more tempting it becomes to just cave. You guys need to understand, weight loss simply comes down to lifestyle. It's literally just doing the same boring shit over and over again before you say fuck it and decide to cheat. That's literally all weight loss is. Now, the number one thing that helped me overcome any cravings or temptations was keeping myself busy and keeping myself productive and occupied. The more you keep this occupied, the less you're thinking about eating food. Even doing recreational activities are going to save your ass when you need it the most. You guys are going to feel hungry, and depending on how you respond to your hunger will depend on whether you achieve your goals or not. So I must reinforce it to you. You cannot panic. Just remember, every time you feel hunger, real hunger, it is a sign that what you're doing is actually working. That should be enough reassurance to have you keep going forward. And last but not least, go to bed on time. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. By getting any less, you guys are involuntarily switching the difficulty to nightmare mode. That's basically it. Thanks for watching.